Queen on with Apologetics Without Apology, and I want to make a brief video highlighting the goals, intentions, and ideology of Hamas with everything that's being said in the media, politicians and college students out there supporting Hamas and claiming from the river to the sea, Palestine shall be free. We want to see what that means and what the people that are running the Gaza Strip believe. Are these peace-loving people? Is there a solution, a two-state solution possible? With that said, I want to start with a quote from William Shirer, the author of The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich, speaking about Nazi Germany. He says, "Not every German who bought a copy of Mein Kampf necessarily read it, but it might have be argued that had more non-Nazi Germans read it before 1933, and had the foreign statesmen of the world perused it carefully while there was still time, both Germany and the world might have been saved from a catastrophe." So that's what we're going to do. We're going to read and see what the stated goals are of this group. But before I do that, I do want to say that Jesus Christ said in Matthew 24:37 that in the days of the Son of Man, it will be like the days of Noah. And if you go back and look at what it says regarding the days of Noah, it says, "Now the earth was corrupt in God's sight and was full of violence." This word violence right here is the Hebrew word Hamas. It's spelled the same way and it sounds the same way. It's just, I'm sure it's, some people might say, well, it's a coincidence, but I don't think there are coincidences. But that's what it says. The world will be full of Hamas, of violence. I've got my Indiana Jones hat on because I was Indiana Jones last night for a church event. So with that said, let's get into what Hamas has to say and let's find out what they believe. And so we don't have to take the word of other people that are telling us what they believe. Let's see what they say themselves. All right, I want to make sure I'm showing you exactly what their charter says. All right. Let's take a look at the covenant here. All right. All right, now this idea of Israel being able to be a nation alongside the Palestinians being a nation, two-state solution. Let's see. What they say here is Israel will exist and continue to exist until Islam obliterate it, just as it obliterated others before it. And how can you exist alongside another nation that is run by a government that says that they want to obliterate your nation? You can't. Now, does this mean I think everyone who lives in the Gaza Strip believes this? No, I don't. I'm sure that there are some innocent people, children innocent, are innocent. I've seen them with my own eyes, and I pray for them. I pray for the hearts of even the leaders. But those that are in control, those that are voted into power in the Gaza Strip, this is what they believe. This is what they have said they want to accomplish, and it's that Israel can essentially cannot exist. So when you hear someone talking about the plight of the Palestinians, just understand they're run by Hamas, and Hamas wants to obliterate Israel. That's what they've said they want to do. Right? Read it for yourself. All right, let's get into a few more. Let's see. Let's talk about this idea of Israel existing alongside, a peace situation. How can there be peace in this area? And is that even a possibility? It says here, the Islamic resistance movement is a distinguished Palestinian movement whose allegiance is to Allah and whose way of life is Islam. It strives to raise the banner of Allah over every inch of Palestine. So there's not even an inch that can be yielded to Israel. Now, I've just read to you their purpose of wanting to obliterate Israel. It says here, and let's go look at Article 11. First of all, let's take a look at their quote from the Quran here. In regards to their purpose and stated goal of Hamas, says the day of judgment will not come about until Muslims fight the Jews, killing the Jews, when the Jew will hide behind stones and trees, and the stones and trees will say, "O Muslims, O Abdullah, there is a Jew behind me, come and kill him." Only the Garkad tree, or evidently a certain kind of tree, would not do that because it's one of the trees of the Jews. So this is included in essentially the constitution of Hamas. Are you telling me that there's a possibility to have peace in this area of the world? Of course not. not with this group of people. The glorious end of the world can't take place until the Jews are killed, till the Muslim kills the Jews. You've read it for yourself. If this wasn't offensive enough in the Quran, to take that out and include it in your Constitution is telling. Why won't people read this? Why won't the left? Why won't we have politicians in our own government making laws that support Hamas? And this is what they say that their purpose and goals are. And this is what they've included in their Constitution. You can read it for yourself. Let's take a few more. Allah, this is the, says Allah is its target. This is the slogan of the Islamic resistance movement, Hamas. Allah as its target, the Prophet as its model, the Quran as its constitution. Watch this now. And jihad is the path, and death for the sake of Allah is the loftiest of its wishes. So to die in this fight, in this resistance, is the highest thing you can hope for. This is Hamas. This is who's running the Gaza Strip. A few more here. All right. Let's take a look what they have to say about, is there a possibility of having a conference or coming together for the sake of peace? Article 13, that says this. Peace initiatives and so-called peaceful solutions and international conferences are in contradiction to the principles of the Islamic resistance movement. So any kind of idea of meeting together for peace or a two-state solution goes against the very purpose of why Hamas exists. They can't happen. These conferences are no more than a means to appoint the infidels as arbitrators in the lands of Islam. There's no solution for the Palestinian problem except by jihad, except by a war. Okay? Let's see. Initiatives, proposals, and international conferences are but a waste of time and exercise in futility. And we've seen that take place when President Clinton supposedly secured a deal between the two, between Israel and the Palestinians. And as soon as it was, I guess the ink was, before it was even dried, there was a new intifada that was called out and a war began. This has happened so many times. It happened again when Israel gave up the Gaza Strip, I believe in 2005. Then you had this, as soon as any peace only sparks more war and unrest, quote unquote peace. And so why are people surprised by it? This is what they said they wanted to do. They would continue to fight in war and jihad until the Jews are wiped out, until Israel is gone. We shouldn't be surprised. They shouldn't have been surprised about Hitler's intentions, and they shouldn't be surprised about the intentions of Hamas. Don't forget that quote from the Quran about the day of judgment will not come about until the Jews, till the rocks, till nature itself cries out, hey, there's a Jew behind me, come get him. All right, a few more things here. This is the charter of Hamas. I'm not putting words in their mouth. You're reading it for yourself. You just read where they can't have any sort of peace. These conferences and are a waste of time. Let's see. Let's take a look. One more place. Article 32. All right. 31, 32. It says this. Zionist scheming has no end, and after Palestine, they will covet expansion from the Nile to the Euphrates River. When they have finished digesting the area in which they have laid their hand, they will look forward to more expansion. Their scheme has been laid out in the protocols of the elders of Zion. So they're putting forth this disproven, I guess, book that came out in the early 19th century, early 20th century, that's been proven to be fake about these stated goals of the learned elders of Zion. And they're using this conspiracy to continue to rile up hate for the nation of Israel. This is in Article 32. And then Article 32 goes on. The Hamas regards itself as the spearhead and vanguard of the circle of struggle against world Zionism. Islamic groups all over the Arab world should come and do the same, since they are the best equipped for their future role in the fight against warmongering Jews. All right, again, this is Hamas. This is the group that Israel is supposed to somehow have peace with or find a two-state solution. You've read yourself, that's impossible if they're in charge. This is the group that has, on October 7th, that's just being consistent with what they've stated they want to accomplish. So don't listen to any politician or don't listen to the media lie to you or gaslight you, tell you one thing when you know the exact opposite. This is what they want to accomplish. And really, this is consistent with the Quran and what the Quran has to say as well. And that's probably the subject of another video. But as long as Hamas is in power in the Gaza Strip or in that section of the land there, you can expect more and more and more of what happened on October 7th, which had been going on before, just not on that scale. So that's what I wanted to share with you. I continue to pray for everyone involved. Pray for Israel. I pray for those that are under the Palestine or under Hamas rule. Pray for their salvation and pray for the peace of Jerusalem. But now you know exactly what is in the Constitution of Hamas and what their stated goal and purpose is. They did have a revision in 2017, but I'm not even going to call it a revision. I'm not going to draw attention to it because it's essentially the same thing stated in a different way. And I will call Christians out there that I've heard a lot of Christians that are saying things such as the problem is Zionism and the Jews that are living in the land are fake. I would just ask you to reconsider what the Scripture has to say on the matter and pray and ask God, I think, to change your heart about it, because we can see that the spirit of satanic hatred is so prevalent in our world today, and it's really gaining steam, and it's concerning. But I know God can work miracles, and we can have these circles of revival, and that's what I'm praying for. But now you know what Hamas has stated they wanted to accomplish, and you are well informed now, and so this should help us have a better response to those around us in our community, and so that's what I wanted to accomplish. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.